Hello, Cancer. Welcome to your June 2021 tarot reading using the Sixth Sense Oracle. I've done an off-screen pre-shuffle, and let's get a message or two for you from the Oracle cards before we jump into the tarot portion of the reading. Now, this is going to be what is playing out kind of behind the scenes in the background, and kind of your theme for the month. Now, I did do an off-screen pre-shuffle. I'm pretty sure I just said that. I will apologize right off the bat if I have to sneeze or use a tissue. My allergies are out of control today. I don't know if you have seasonal allergies, but I don't know why. They're just, yeah, they're out of control today. So we start off with Martyr. This is more of a warning card of wanting to be the martyr for your cause. And if you're not sure what that means, it means that you're willing to die by the sword for your cause or what it is that you believe in. Now, you did get a second card here, and this is more of an answer rather than a prediction. Your answer is, when is everything going to happen and play out, and I'm going to get all my answers? Well, it's in the spring. But in the meantime, you can embody the energy that spring has, which is a renewal of love and life coming back in. Technically, because we are in June, we are still in spring until June 20th, which is the summer equinox, when you have the longest day of the year if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Now, jumping into the tarot using the Santa Martyr Tarot, let's get the messages for Cancer for the month of June. Sorry if I'm moving around a lot. I am trying to get comfortable. I'm trying to find a great way to sit. My house is slightly torn apart, so the area that I normally record in is a disaster because that is what is being painted right now at the moment. So I had to find a little bit of a new spot where the lights weren't too bright, be able to see everything on camera, blah, 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 all that fun stuff. Anyway, back to the cosmos. If your birthday happens to fall in the last few weeks of June, happy early birthday, Cancer, by the way, because the sun does move into the sign of Cancer on June 21st. So you may be a cusper with Gemini. You can always check out Gemini's readings if that is the case. Your rising sign, also very important. Ooh. Okay, Cancer, I'm jealous. I am liking your second week of June cards that came out. They're amazing. Okay, let's get one more card for the third week. I'm not going to take the ones that went face down, by the way. I'm going to have a look at them, but they are not a repeating theme with anybody. So let's get one more card for the last week of June for Cancer. All right, so May 26th, we had the full moon in Sagittarius, which was a super moon. You may have been feeling that. We also had a lunar eclipse, and that showed us a little bit of what to expect for the next little while, and it really wanted us to look at closing out of cycles and projects and all of that fun stuff. We have on June 10th, new moon in the sign of Gemini. Of course, new moons are always about new intentions, what you want to bring in, and that is going to be bookended with the second eclipse. Eclipses always happen in, at minimum, pairs, sometimes in threes. This one is a pair, and that eclipse is a solar eclipse, and that is happening on June 11th, which is the second Friday. All right, one more card, please. There we go. I was going to say it's skulls. Don't want to talk all of a sudden. Okay. Four of Pentacles. I'm going to take this next card simply because it does tie in. So you've got the Four of Pentacles and the Ten of Wands on the bottom of the deck energy, and this is talking about things that are playing out again in the background And the Four of Pentacles, talking about needing to let go, and the Ten of Wands is the end of a cycle in which you are carrying a lot of heavy burdens. So it's not a coincidence that these two guys kind of came out together in terms of you need to let go of what these heavy burdens are, and that is your goal throughout the month of June. I will go through and pull some clarifiers, but I do want to talk about the cards as an individual thing before we get into any clarifiers. And before we do that, let's do a little administrative things. I do personal readings. I'm going to leave my email in the description box down below. Shoot me an email. We'll talk about booking a personal reading for you and how that looks like and how all the logistics work. And don't forget to hit that like button, notification bell, and subscribe. I do monthly readings. I do weekly readings. I may pop on and do a reading when the sun moves into Cancer. I may not. That's why you need to hit that notification bell so you know when I release videos. Another reason why you want to know when I release videos is every month. This is based off of the monthly readings for your sign. There's a contest in which whichever sign has the most views and interactions at the end of the month will get bonus readings for the following month. So for example, in May, out of all of the signs, Taurus, they won. They had the most views, they had the most likes, and it's a combination of both. So they're going to get extra readings for the month of June. So let's clarify. Oh, you know what? I just realized we didn't actually go through the cards. I was going to start clarifying your cards before we even got into it. So the first card that we have for the first week of June is the Queen of Pentacles. And the Queen of Pentacles, feminine energy, she is committed, a little materialistic, but that's okay because she is wealthy and likes the finer things in life. And with the imagery, each tarot deck in itself has specific imagery, thanks to the artists and the people who compose them. They also add to the meanings of the tarot. And in this deck, as you can see, she's getting ready to climb that ladder. And that is definitely very much the energy that you're embodying here in the first week. Is you want to climb that ladder. You want to reach up to the top, to the more things that will unlock the finer things in life. So let's clarify Queen of Pentacles for Cancer, please. Woo. Anything else? Okay, that was more than a few things else, but we'll run with it. Like I said, I'm not going to spend a massive amount of time describing what each of these cards are because they are clarifiers. So we've got the Seven of Wands, feeling defensive, Nine of Pentacles, independence. Now the Nine of Pentacles is often referred to as being a feminine energy, but it is being independent, usually described as the independent, single, wealthy woman. Eight of Wands, very fast-moving energy, and could come in the form of communication. And the Six of Swords is moving out of a rough period of time into a calmer, more gentle period of time. This is an interesting set of cards that you've got, Cancer. So you've got the Queen of Pentacles. You're wanting to climb that ladder and move up in life so that you can assert yourself, your independence. Maybe you're female, maybe you need to embrace a more feminine vibe, but know that you don't need to be so defensive when asserting your independence or striking out to be more independent, particularly in regards to your finances, because Pentacles, Earth energy, talks about your finances, money, employment, and all things that are tangible. So you don't need to be so defensive and ready to strike, even though you are ready to strike out and climb that ladder. things are going to start moving and shaking. So the Six of Swords and the Eight of Pentacles, I'm going to move them over here, or the Eight of Wands, correction. They together is a lot of movement, and there's going to be a lot of communication in regards to when this starts happening. Don't forget what's playing out in the background here too is you're letting go of old burdens. And as you do that, things are going to start to become clearer. You're going to be a lot less defensive. High Priestess, there may be information that you're learning or something that is coming out in the surface. Now, the second week of June, you've got two major arcana cards here, and these two are fabulous. I'd like to use other terminology, but I'd like to keep the language a little on the cleaner side, even though I have been known to let a few F-bombs fly in my day. You've got the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun card. And these are exactly what they are. So you're moving from this climbing the ladder queen energy to having things really start moving in your favor. And oh boy, is this ever a great favor. You've got the Sun card, which is the happiest card in the deck, and it is the end of a cycle and completion. I don't think I need to clarify these. They pretty much speak for themselves. We do have Jupiter, which is the planet of luck and growth and expansion, in the sign of Pisces right now, so you may be feeling a little bit comfortable with that. But the June 23rd is when Jupiter does go retrograde. Now, my gut feeling, because my gut feeling is how I run things, I am very intuitive, and that's how I pick up on the messages outside of what the face of the cards mean. My gut feeling is this is going to be eclipse related around the new moon. Luck is going to start turning in your favor, and it is going to be sunshines, rainbows, puppies, kittens, sunflowers, and mariachi bands. So I don't think I need to clarify any of that. That is an amazing duo, an amazing combo. So your second week of June, I do strongly feel more towards the end of the week, simply because that is when the eclipse is happening, is on Friday, June 11th. Now, the third week of June, we've got the Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups, yes, is a little bit sad. There's a few reasons why this may be coming up for you, Cancer. So let's talk about the card a little bit first. The Eight of Cups is moving away from something that we had an emotional attachment to. Now, I do believe that this card has come up with every single sign so far. And I believe it may have even made an appearance in the May 31st to June 6th tarot reading. But some of this grief and sadness and sorrow, it's a movement card, and we're moving away from. We're moving away from something that we have an attachment to. But it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad movement. It's just the movement is something that we're not necessarily comfortable or wishing to walk away from. Let's clarify this. This is the Mystic Garbage Tarot, by the way, that I'm using. So let's clarify the Eight of Cups. Clarify Eight of Cups for Cancer, please. Now, in the third week of June, we do have, on the 21st, the Sun moves into the sign of Cancer. On the 22nd, Mercury goes direct because it is in retrograde throughout almost the entirety of June. And then on the 23rd, we do have Jupiter going retrograde. And when it goes retrograde, it dips back into the sign of Aquarius for a short period of time. Jupiter will go direct again in, I believe it's the end of October. We have Pluto and Saturn currently in retrograde as well. At the moment, those will be playing out until early October, and then those will be going direct October 6th and 10th respectively. Okay, what is this that Cancer's moving away from? All right. Anything else? Anything else for Cancer? What is this moving away from? Now, this moving away from, it doesn't have to necessarily mean the ending of something, because don't forget, we're letting go of burdens, and those can be quite familiar and comforting to hang on to. What is familiar, even though it's not necessarily working out. Oh, the tarot. Okay, the King of Swords. You may have to make an executive decision. Seven of Wands. You're moving away from being defensive, but the Eight of Cups, being clarified with the Eight of Cups, you may be feeling like you're not able to speak. So there could be some throat chakra stuff going on with this as well. And you may be feeling really defensive over it, but you're moving out of that energy. And we've got the Moon card, so a little bit of caution when it comes to information. Being defensive when maybe you don't have all of the information. Now, the Moon card, I believe the full moon is it's either the 26th or the 28th of June. That could be coming into play, but just know that with the Moon card, this is a major arcana card of Cancer, by the way. And there's something that has yet to be uncovered. There's still missing pieces. There's information that is not being seen at the light, in the light, because the light isn't there right now. Two of Wands, there's that needing to make that decision, but the King of Wands is going to help you make that. Eight of Swords, you're feeling handcuffed. That goes with your defensiveness and the throat chakra. You're feeling handcuffed because you feel like you're stuck in a box and you're not able to speak, or maybe feel like you can say something to defend yourself. But no, you've got the gift of truth on your side. Just be strong and you'll get through it. So that is the third week of June for you. Now, the last week of June, we have a major arcana card, and it's the card of Virgo. And this is the Hermit. So you may be wanting to have some time to go within. These two guys are just saying they belong together. And because of this moving away from whatever this emotional attachment is, even though you're feeling quite defensive over it, but I hate to say this, Cancer, but you do have a tendency to get quite defensive over things very easily, and you get emotional over things, whether it's an emotional attachment or just overly emotional. That's your quirk. That is your sign. That is your sign's influence coming in here. And you may feel the need to withdraw and go within. So let's clarify the Hermit card. And by this point too, the sun will be in your sign, and it will be fully in your sign. There will be no cusping stuff going on. Okay, so with the Hermit card, we do have a couple cards, but that repeated itself from the previous week, but they're in reverse this time. So you're going to want to go within and hermit and maybe isolate. You have the ability to break out of this situation, but you're choosing not to necessarily look at how to deal with it or to make those decisions to get out of it, because you're stuck in your cycle of grief over all of this, and it's causing you a lot of anxiety. But no, there is a solution that is going to come in quite quickly, and you may have to use some wording which is not, I mean, it's always a good idea to keep people's emotions in mind if you're going to be needing to make a decision, particularly one in regards to a sensitive manner or topic. But at the same time, you may have to use no specific words in order to get this to be resolved. This is going to help open the path of communications, and oh boy, once that doorway gets open, The messages are going to be flying. And don't forget, by the time that the 4th week of June rolls around, we will be out of Mercury retrograde. We will be in a pre-shadow or a post-shadow phase for another week to week and a half afterwards, and up to 2 weeks. So there is still going to be some Mercury retrograde action happening, but these messages are going to far overcome it, and it is going to be the end of a cycle, because you're moving away from that emotional attachment that you're feeling so defensive over. There can be quite a bit of drama involved, but stay positive. I know this is a bit of a different imagery for 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups, though, is normally talking about wishes being granted and fulfilled. And the Medusa here is looking a little lustful, if I may add. But don't get too caught up here, because you'll be picking yourself up. The Hermit comes out again here. You'll be picking yourself up. We've got the Wounded Warrior. I'm not sure what Chiron's doing right now. Chiron is an asteroid that is a perpetually wounded warrior, named after a Roman warrior, which was immortal. However, he was wounded with a poisonous arrow that the poison was infinite, had an infinite supply. So the Wounded Warrior is always dying and healing. And I know in the first part of June, Chiron is still embodying the energy of the picking yourself back up and in the healing phase. I don't know what it's doing quite at the end of June. And there could be a bit of a downturn where it's going into the, okay, we need to really examine our wounds. Don't forget, we're letting go still of that energy of burdens that we've been carrying for far too long. Don't get caught up in the feelings of lack. Okay, this is what the situation is going to feel like, but it's not the end of the world. There is some movement here, but you're going to have to get out of that watery, emotional time. You're going to have to get out of your emotions and more into your head. There was quite a bit of Swords energy that was kind of trying to pop up. So it's getting out of that Cups water energy and into the more air energy, which talks about going on in your mind. So 8 of Pentacles, there is going to be movement. 4 of Swords is needing to give yourself a break when you need to over this conflict. Here's the 2 conflict cards. Yeah, there's going to be conflict, possibly some heartbreak or feelings of betrayal, but you knew that. And there's the King to the Queen that started off the month. So stay committed, stay true, stay loyal to yourself. You do have some great energy coming through, particularly in the beginning of June. Try not to get too caught up in any of the negatives at the end of the month. And like I said, you may have to get out of your heart space and your emotions to free up your throat chakra to say your piece, potentially in defense of yourself, and then allow your thoughts to be the ruler of all the decision making and not your heart. So that is the end of your tarot reading, Cancer. Don't forget, if you want a personal reading, check out the email in the description box, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. So I'm going to leave it here, and I'll talk to you soon.